Billions have played video games, millions have wondered how they are made, but very few know the names of the men who made the making of games possible. Today, we are telling the stories of five engineers, visionaries, and builders who didn't just make great games, they forged the engines that power entire industries. Five men, five legacies, and a world of games that wouldn't exist without them. John Carmack, the John Carmack. At number one is John Carmack. John Carmack was born in 1970 in Shawnee Mission, Kansas. By the time he was a teenager, programming wasn't just a hobby, it was an obsession, a calling. He dropped out of college, took a job at a small software company called Softdix, and there in a cramped office in Shreveport, Louisiana, he met a man named John Romero. Together, they would change gaming forever. In 1992, the duo co-founded ID Software and shipped Wolfenstein 3D, one of the first games to create a convincing illusion of moving through a 3D space on a consumer PC. It was a technical magic trick. The world wasn't truly 3D, but felt like it was because of Carmack's clever rendering algorithm. Then came Doom in 1993. Doom didn't just push graphics, it introduced an entirely new philosophy of game development. Carmack built the ID Tech Engine 1, the ID Tech 1 engine to be licensable, meaning other developers could pay to use it and build their own games on top of it. The concept of commercial engine was born. But then Carmack wasn't done. In 1996, Quake arrived, the first game with a truly fully 3D engine. Real polygon environments, real 3D movement, real-time lighting. The ID Tech 2 engine was a seismic leap. Carmack pioneered techniques that became cornerstones of 3D graphics. Binary space partitioning for fast scene rendering, shadow volume for real-time dynamic shadows, adaptive tile refresh for smooth scrolling on limited hardware. He didn't just write code, he invented new mathematics for games. John Carmack is the closest thing game development has to a Newton or an Einstein. He didn't build on what existed, he invented what didn't. John Romero. If Carmack was the engine, John Romero was the fire. Born in 1967 in Colorado Springs, Romero taught himself to code as a child on an Apple II. He was obsessive, not just about programming, but about game design, about what made games fun. At ID Software, Romero was the designer behind Doom's labyrinthine levels, intricate maps that felt dangerous, atmospheric, and alive. He understood instinctively that great technology means nothing without great design. But Romero's contribution to game engines runs deeper than map making. He championed the idea of modding, giving players the tools to build their own levels inside the Doom engine. The Doom WAD format let anyone create and share their own content. It was revolutionary. Modern communities became training grounds for an entire generation of game developers. Without Romero's persistence on open tools, there may have been no Half-Life, no Counter-Strike, no indie game revolution. Romero later founded his own studios, including Iron Storm, and has continued designing games for over 3 decades. He remains one of the most influential figures in game design philosophy, proving that engines need artists just as much as they need engineers. And number 3 is Tim Sweeney. In 1991, a 21-year-old software developer named Tim Sweeney started a company from his parents' house in Potomac, Maryland. He called it Potomac Computer Systems. You know it as Epic Games. The company you know today as Epic Games started as Potomac Computer System. Sweeney's early product was a PC utility tool. Nothing remarkable, but he had a vision that went far beyond the utilities. He wanted to build the most powerful game engine the world had ever seen. In 1998, Unreal shipped alongside its engine, the Unreal Engine, and it stunned the industry. Where Quake had been dark and gritty, Unreal was vast and luminous, outdoor environment, dynamic lighting, a full scripting language called Unreal Script that let designers, not just programmers, build game logic. The Unreal Engine wasn't just powerful, it was accessible. Sweeney kept iterating. Unreal Engine 2 powered dozens of AAA titles in the early 2000s. Unreal Engine 3 became the dominant engine of the Xbox 360 and PS3 era. Used in games like Gears of War, Bioshock, Batman Arkham Asylum, and hundreds more. And then came Unreal Engine 5. Released in 2022, Unreal Engine 5 introduced Nanite, a visualized geometry system capable of rendering film quality assets in real time, and Lumen, a full dynamic global illumination system that makes light behave like it does in the real world. Tim Sweeney's engine is now used not just in game but in film production, architecture, automotive design, and live TV broadcasts. He didn't just build a game engine, he built the foundation of the next wave of real-time media. Gabe Newell. Number four is Gabe Newell. Gabe Newell dropped out of Harvard in 1983 to join a little company called Microsoft. He spent 13 years there, becoming a self-made millionaire and learning deeply how software platforms work. Then in 1996, he left to co-found Valve Corporation. Valve's 1998 debut, Half-Life, was built on a heavily modified Quake engine, but it felt nothing like anything before it. No cutscenes, but it felt unlike anything before it. No cutscenes, no loading screens, no breaking immersions, a seamless cinematic world. But the Source engine, Valve's custom engine built for Half-Life 2 in 2004, was the real landmark. Source introduced Havok's physics integration into mainstream game development, letting players interact with the environment in ways that felt startlingly real. The iconic gravity gun wasn't just a cool weapon, it was a showcase of what physics-driven engines could do. Source had a flexible modding pipeline that spawned some of the most influential games ever made: Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, Portal, Garry's Mod, many of which started as community mods before becoming commercial juggernauts. But Gabe Newell's deepest contribution to game development may be Steam, the digital distribution platform that fundamentally changed how games reach players. By lowering the barrier to publishing, Steam allowed indie developers, many of them using accessible engines, to find worldwide audience. Newell understood that engines and platforms are inseparable. You need both to build an industry. At number 5 is Dave Helgason. By the mid-2000s, game engines were powerful, but they were also expensive, complicated, and locked behind corporate walls. Making a 3D game still required either a massive team or a massive budget. Dave Helgason decided to change that. Born in Iceland, Helgason co-founded Unity Technologies in Copenhagen in 2004 alongside Nicholas Francis and Joachim Ante. Their mission was simple and radical: make game development accessible to everyone. Unity launched in 2005 as a Mac exclusive engine targeted at AAA studios, but at individuals, students, hobbyists, small teams, people who had ideas but no resources. It offered a drag and drop editor, a free tier, and crucially cross-platform support. Build once, deployed to Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, web, console. Unity abstracted away the nightmare of platform-specific development. The result was an explosion. The 2010s indie game renaissance, the golden era of small studios shipping beloved games, was powered in large part by Unity. Hollow Knight, Among Us, Pokemon Go, Fall Guys, Cuphead's runtime, thousands of mobile games reaching billions of players. Helgason stepped down as CEO in 2014, handling Unity's growth phase to new leadership, but his founding philosophy remained: democratize creation. Under his watch, Unity went from a small tool for Mac hobbyists to the most widely used real-time engine on the planet. He didn't build the most powerful engine, he built the most human one. 5 men, 5 different approaches, one shared obsession: building the tools that let humanity tell stories through interactive words. Carmack gave us the mathematics of 3D space. Romero gave us this philosophy of player-driven design. Sweeney gave us the vision and ambitions of what games could become. Newell gave us the physics of unbelievable words and the platform to share them. Helgason gave us the key and opened the door for everyone. Every game you have ever loved was built inside a world that one of these men made possible. And the engines they built, they are still running right now. If you enjoyed the video, of course you would. Just like and subscribe. And and don't forget to tell me what you think about the video, the game engines I mentioned. Or if you have any favorite game engines I did not mention. As in the people I did not mention, the pioneers I did not mention. Just type it in the comment section. Thanks for watching.